April 11, 1945. American soldiers pushed through the gates of Buchenwald concentration camp and discovered hell on earth. But among the skeletal survivors who could barely speak, one name emerged again and again, whispered with a venom reserved for someone whose cruelty went beyond the unthinkable. While other SS officers committed atrocities from a distance, Ilse Koch lived in a villa overlooking the camp, where her privilege above the suffering below transformed into something far more sinister. A sadistic power that would make her the most hated woman of the Third Reich. Liberation's dark discovery at Buchenwald went beyond the systematic horror that defined Nazi concentration camps. The American Third Army found something that defied comprehension, evidence of personalized sadism that turned mass murder into intimate cruelty. Survivors didn't just describe the camp's brutality. They described her, a woman who strolled through their suffering like a curator selecting art. Prisoners testified that Ilse Koch demanded inmates with distinctive tattoos be brought to her attention. What happened next crossed from institutional evil into something darker. Allegations that she collected their skin after execution, preserving the tattoos as macabre souvenirs. The liberators discovered her villa perched above the camp like a throne overlooking hell. While tens of thousands suffered below, and over 56,000 would die in this camp, she had lived in absolute luxury, fine furniture, elegant gardens, a riding stable where she kept horses, the same horses prisoners claimed she rode through the camp, selecting victims with casual cruelty. But the most disturbing testimony centered on lampshades. Human skin, tattooed and treated, fashioned into household objects. To the liberators, it looked conclusive. The horror seemed bottomless, and Ilse Koch had vanished, fleeing just days before American tanks arrived. The hunt was on. The making of a monster rarely announces itself with fanfare. Margarete Ilse Koch entered the world on September 22, 1906 in Dresden, an ordinary girl in an ordinary German family. Her father worked as a factory foreman. Nothing in her childhood hinted at the horror she would orchestrate. She became a secretary, filing papers and answering phones. Unremarkable, forgettable, but ambition burned beneath that ordinary surface. And when the Nazi Party rose to power, Ilse saw opportunity where others saw ideology. 1934 changed everything. At a party rally, she met Karl Otto Koch, an SS officer climbing the ranks with ruthless efficiency. He was older, connected, powerful. She was young, attractive, eager to escape mediocrity. Their marriage in 1937 wasn't romance. It was transaction. She traded her independence for access to absolute power. Karl's career accelerated. Sachsenhausen concentration camp first, where Ilse learned that being the commandant's wife meant living above the rules that governed ordinary people. Then, Buchenwald, where Karl took command in 1937 and their privilege reached obscene heights. The villa overlooked the camp, a deliberate architectural choice. Every morning, Ilse woke to views of suffering. Every evening, she dined on luxuries while prisoners starved meters away. The proximity didn't disturb her. It intoxicated her. Power without accountability, privilege without conscience. The ordinary secretary from Dresden had found her kingdom, and she ruled it with cruelty that shocked even hardened SS officers. Her transformation was complete. As Queen of the Damned, Ilse Koch reigned over Buchenwald with a cruelty that turned systematic murder into personal theater. Between 1937 and 1943, she transformed the commandant's wife role from ceremonial position into something far more sinister. Her villa became a monument to corruption. While prisoners starved, Ilse hosted lavish parties with champagne and delicacies stolen from camp supplies. She wore fur coats and designer dresses purchased with money embezzled from prisoner belongings. The Kochs didn't just oversee Buchenwald, they plundered it. But luxury wasn't enough. Ilse craved spectacle. Survivors testified that she rode through the camp on horseback, a riding crop in hand, surveying the prisoners like livestock. Those who dared look at her faced brutal punishment. Some claimed she ordered beatings for prisoners whose appearance displeased her. Others spoke of worse, selections made not for work assignments, but for her personal collection. The tattoo legend began here, whispered among prisoners with mounting horror. Ilse allegedly ordered SS guards to identify inmates with distinctive tattoos, elaborate designs, artistic work, anything that caught her eye. These prisoners would disappear into the medical block. Days later, their skin would resurface, preserved and treated, fashioned into lampshades, book covers, gloves. The evidence seemed overwhelming. Later testimony and investigation tied the processing of tattooed skin to the camp's medical apparatus. Though proving direct orders would become maddeningly complex, multiple prisoners corroborated the selections. American investigators found suspicious items in her villa, though verifying what exactly they were made from would become a legal nightmare. Her corruption extended beyond sadism. The Kochs embezzled hundreds of thousands of Reichsmarks, building a private empire on prisoner suffering. Karl constructed a private zoo. Ilse collected art stolen from murdered inmates. Their greed knew no bounds, but empires built on cruelty rarely stand forever. By 1943, even the SS had seen enough. The system that elevated Ilse Koch was about to devour her, and the fall would be spectacular. The machine devours its own with brutal efficiency when profit threatens ideology. 1943 brought the Koch's empire crashing down, not from Allied justice, but from SS internal investigations. Heinrich Himmler himself ordered the inquiry. The corruption had become too blatant, the embezzlement too vast. Konrad Morgan, an SS judge, arrived at Buchenwald and uncovered a kingdom built on theft. Hundreds of thousands of Reichsmarks stolen, prisoner belongings sold for personal gain, the zoo, the parties, the luxury, all funded by plunder. Karl Koch was arrested, tried by SS court, and executed in April 1945, shot by his own organization just 1 week before liberation. The system that empowered him destroyed him. Ilse faced charges too, but her punishment was lighter: imprisonment, not execution. The SS investigation cleared her of the most sensational accusations: the lampshades, the skin collection. Insufficient evidence, they claimed. But liberation was coming fast, and American justice would prove far less forgiving than her SS judges. 2 trials, 1 symbol. Ilse Koch's journey through post-war justice revealed the impossible tension between legal proof and public horror. The woman who lived in absolute privilege would face judgment twice, and both verdicts would spark fury. August 1947. The American military tribunal at Dachau convicted her of crimes against humanity. The evidence seemed damning: survivor testimony, the villa's luxuries, the allegations of lampshades and skin collections, life imprisonment. But the lampshades crumbled under scrutiny. Forensic analysis proved inconclusive. The supposed human skin artifacts couldn't be definitively verified. General Lucius Clay, reviewing the case, found the evidence insufficient for the most sensational charges. In 1949, he commuted her sentence and ordered her release. The outcry was immediate and volcanic. Survivors felt betrayed. The public demanded justice. How could the witch of Buchenwald walk free when thousands remembered her cruelty? Germany tried her again in 1951, their own reckoning with Nazi crimes. This time, West German courts focused on provable offenses: incitement to murder, complicity in killings, abuse of prisoners. The evidence was different, but damning: life imprisonment again. Ilse Koch had become something beyond a person, a symbol. She represented female complicity in Nazi horrors, the banality of evil dressed in fur coats, the impossible question of how to prosecute crimes so monstrous they defied legal categories. Her defenders claimed she was scapegoated, that the worst stories were exaggerated, that she became a convenient villain when bigger fish escaped justice. Her victims knew better. They remembered the villa, the horses, the selections. Whether or not lampshades existed, the cruelty was real, documented, undeniable. She would spend the rest of her life in prison, but the controversy would never end. The slow unraveling of Ilse Koch took 16 years behind bars. Prison stripped away the privilege that once defined her. Her children grew up without her, ashamed of her name. Mental illness consumed her, paranoia, delusions, the psychological weight of infamy crushing what remained of her sanity. September 1st, 1967, she fashioned a noose from bedsheets in Eichach prison and hanged herself. The villa above Buchenwald was gone. The power was gone. Only the legend remained, a cautionary tale of ambition without conscience, privilege turned to punishment.